So if you're new to sales and you're struggling to get people to commit to buy, you're doing all of the activity and you're starting to feel like you're having good activity for at least the past several months, and then other VUs are starting to sell deals around you and you're just wondering what the issue is. Well, today we're going to go through the 7 steps or 7 processes of how to identify that and also ways to correct that. I'm Mark Flockhart with Think Insurance. You may have seen me, I do a lot of insurance channel ideas and talk about insurance stuff. I'm also a trainer for insurance agents, so I'm going to work with you on some of the knowledge that I have as far as like working with people on how to make the best deals, how to track your activity, and just go forward. So let's just dive right into it. Just to give you a little background on me, I've been selling insurance for about a decade now. I've written multiple millions of dollars worth of business, and I want to teach you the advice that I've gotten, the skills that I've learned, the things that I've done to be more profitable. Definitely subscribe below if you want to follow this information. I'm going to do a video at least once a week, if not more, on specific sales tactics. The first part is you really just got to believe in yourself. Know that you can do this. This is not that difficult. Selling is one of the most needed skills, and it's not a talent. That's the cool thing. It can be learned. So even if you're not great today, just know that you will be. The guy that you're watching next to you, he's no different, or she's no different than what you are. They've just probably had more experience and more practice. Just remember, you got this. It is a mindset, so willing to be learning to focus on the right steps, starting with watching these videos, is going to be very helpful. The second part is to check your numbers. Now, when I say check your numbers, if you haven't been doing activity for 90 days or more, you're really not in a spot where you can say it's not working, I'm not getting the right activity. So look at the activity, see what you're doing, measure the response you've gotten, what type of clients are you talking to, what kind of volume are you getting out of that, what adjustments would you like to make? It's really simple for you to go back and just say they don't work, but if they do, and you're just not working it correctly, or just tiny little pieces that we're gonna tweak today that you're missing are gonna make all of the difference. Don't take the easy road. Don't just say this doesn't work or I don't like this, so I won't do this. Yes, you are responsible in most cases of getting your own leads, or you're responsible of doing your own deals, but if that's the case, don't take the easy road. I'm telling you, don't just buy a lead because it's easy to buy and not focus on what type of lead am I getting, what type of criteria am I looking for. Find the right fit or the niche of that client that you're looking for. Now, I know that one was actually a little bit of the first part. Like, you should have kind of already done that in the past. That's something you should have thought of before you did. But if you didn't, that's fine, right? You can fix it now. So let's go into the third piece, which is the growth mindset. And I'm not going to talk the mumbo jumbo like the, say hum and on here, there, right? We're going to talk very specific, detailed things. What I'm thinking of is you've got to realize that you're wearing multiple hats. If you're an agent and you're selling whatever, let's just use car insurance because that's what I'm teaching, is car insurance, and you're talking home and auto and umbrellas and all that stuff, you're wearing multiple hats even in a phone call. But if you're an agent that is running your own show, now you're wearing a lot of multiple hats. You're the business owner, you're the salesperson, you're the customer service at sometimes, you're the manager, you're the guy that's doing all that. When you're on the sales phone, you're wearing the sales hat, but that hat can quickly change. And what I want you to get used to is realize, like, oh, I should have changed that thought process at that time. I've had many phone calls where I switch between the sales agent to become the underwriter. Like, do I really want this? Is this the type of business I want on my books? Is this person fit? Are they trying to cheat the system? Am I going to let them cheat you're going to go through that process and figure out what hat you're wearing when, and you need to decipher which ones are going to be the most important. The way I found it to be easier to learn is just to be able to pivot quickly. So when you're even on a phone call and you need to pivot, that's just some points when you do. I would recommend that you seek counsel for those that are better than you. So make sure that you start by subscribing to this channel. Turn all the notifications on. I'm going to teach you a lot of stuff. Don't get caught up in the hype. The self-development is really good stuff if you're going to put it into practice. Use self-development to motivate you. If it's watching a running video in the morning where someone is successful and they're playing that great background music, like, he made it, yes. Hyper's like, I'm hyped just thinking about that, right? I'm ready to go. But don't think that that's going to fuel you into becoming a better salesperson. It will motivate you to move forward, but what you really need to do is focus on the advice of other people. You need to take that and put it into action. a lot of those hype books and a lot of those self-development, they're really great things they're actually taking the data from the powerful people. Think and Grow Rich, you've got the Grant Cardones, you've got all the people that are saying great things, but they're just putting those into videos to make it exciting, right? So let's take that excitement, take that knowledge, dig a little bit deeper and find out what they're talking about, but put that into action. They say knowledge is power, but without action, it's useless. It doesn't do you any good. Step 4 is to start a small to-do list. Now, I actually bought a calendar. I've yet to use it. I'm not a great planner. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to tell you to do this when it's not a great thing, but it is. I can tell you from experience and seeing all of other successful people like myself that organizing your day, knowing how it starts, knowing how it ended, and knowing what the following day is next is very powerful. I've done it. I've actually done it both ways. So the part that I usually default to, and it's my part that I'm working on, right, is I like to just throw everything in a bucket and then I grab out the most important pieces, which is good, right? That's kind of my way of organizing it. And I grab out the most important pieces, I focus on them, but I quickly get distracted. And I find myself going even on my phone to find the note that I put in there. An hour and a half later, I'm watching a YouTube video on how to make cakes for people that are like cakes. I don't know, but it happens. It's part of the way that we do things, and everything's built to draw our attention. So you really need to break down your day, not necessarily minute by minute or hour by hour, because if you're anything like me, you would rather just end it right there. Like, forget it. If that's the way the industry has to be, I'm out. But partialize that into knowing what is most important for that day. You have to get this done today, knowing that sales is the most important part right now, because that's what you need to do to grow and pay the bills. So organize what is good for marketing, what is good for sales, what time are you going to set for follow-up, and be able to change that quickly, because the day changes. Sometimes a customer calls and they're ready to bind that, and you bind it, you do it, you get it done, and then you move on to the next most important part. What I would recommend is that you do devote at least 90 minutes into sections. So if you're going to focus on sales, spend 90 minutes focusing on sales. If you're going to focus on follow-up, spend 90 minutes focusing on follow-up. Find things that go into there, not because they're just filler. They're not just there to take that 90 minutes up. They're there to be useful. You're doing this for a reason. You're not following up with someone just to find out that you need to follow up again. That's pointless. Know what you're doing, be very specific on what that 90 minutes is, and make sure that if you don't have enough 90 minutes for follow-up, that means you need more time involved in sales. And if that's not the case, then you need more marketing to get that part back. So you've really got to pin it down to how do we fill these brackets so that I know that my day is broken up into those pieces and I'm utilizing the most time that I have. The 5th piece is the foundation. I call it going back to the basics. Usually when you started, there was a script. I have found myself very helpful to me that I have gone back to scripts and reread them. Usually I'm writing them, right? But if I wrote it for a reason. I did it because, hey, so-and-so, I'm calling because of X, Y, and Z. I was just checking to see if you knew about X, Y, and Z. No, I didn't. Awesome. And I found that through doing that and going back to the basics, even with marketing, going back to what you started with, what was working first. So if you're starting there and it was already put into place, don't deviate too much from that unless you're ready. Yes, you do want to make it your own, but first you want to make sure you find out why it's powerful. One of the examples that I can give you is a student of mine kept asking yes or no questions. So they're open-ended questions. And so help me if he asks it again, I'm going to rip his computer out of the wall. But he keeps saying it like, oh, do you want this quote? Well, no, you call them out of the blue, they don't want anything from you, right? They got to have a reason for them. Let's use this as an example. So I'm focused on my mindset. I'm putting my hat on. Am I putting a sales hat on when I'm trying to make an appointment? Yes and no. Yes, I'm trying to sell the appointment, but I'm not trying to sell the person. So I'm not going to talk about coverages. I'm not going to talk about the companies. I'm not going to get too in specific at that time. I'm just trying to sell them talking to me later and wanting to answer the phone call when I answer later. So I'm not going to just jumble things out at them. Let's go through this. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, Bill. Hey, Sue. Hey, whoever you are. Hey, I was calling because some of the things have changed in the state, and I wanted to see if you were interested in getting some information on that. Well, no, not really. Great. No, I understand. I called you out of the blue. That's perfectly fine. Do you mind if I ask who you're currently insured with? Oh, I'm with State Farm or Allstate or whoever. Okay, great. What do you like about them? I got to get them to talk and warm up a little bit to me, right? If you're doing more of those cold type calling or lead lists, then you're going to want to find some way to connect and have them like you, because they got to like you before they're going to move forward. Sure, could you throw it out there? Hey Joe, I got this. There's new rates in your area. Just want to see if you wanted a new quote. Yes. Great. Let me send you over, or let me start the quote right now. Does that work? Yes, but it takes a lot more numbers. You're going to have higher volume calls, lower conversion rates. If you're looking to not spend as much time and take your time, sell 20 out of 100 versus 8 out of 100, and then you do 500 calls to make up for that, there's different ways that you can go. So going through that and then asking those questions correctly, but if you have a script in place, start with that. So the way my script would have read would have been, hey, so-and-so, I'm calling because our rates have changed in the area. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in getting a new quote. No. Oh, no, that's understandable. I know I called you out of the blue. Hey, do you mind if I ask who you're currently insured with? That would be our script. That would be the follow-up question. Well, I don't have time to talk right now. Nope, perfectly fine. Is there a better time that works for you? Just continue with that. Assume that they want it until they say no. So we're moving on and we're sticking to those basics. Now when I've done that, I can start to tweak in my Markisms, or whoever you are, isms. So, hey Joe, how have you been? Oh, I've been good. Great. Hey, rates changing your areas, just checking in. Who are you with now? I'm still with State Farm. Awesome. You know, the rates have been going up a little bit. I think we should check it. You got like 5 minutes? Like I've completely changed that script, but if I'm finding that that's not working, either A, my leads have changed, or B, the way that I'm saying it is different than I used to. So we need to go back and tweak that. Go back to the basics, work your way back in. Number 7, get help. Review your numbers with your manager. He is there and has done it most likely before you, but they're there to see the gaps of what you're doing. Their whole goal is to make the sales agents profitable. They want you to be successful in order for you to get what you want, right? Because if you do, they are, the company is. So get with your manager, have them review your numbers. They can compare to other people, like here's what so-and-so is doing. Maybe we see what they're doing different than what you're doing. So you can see those differences between the two. Now, in my experience, I'm just gonna give you the tip right now. The sales pitch is most commonly the problem for people, where they do deviate and start saying it, where they're really nervous and they don't want to talk. So they'll actually go and be like, and that's most common, right? We're gonna teach you that. Definitely subscribe. You're going to get more of these videos. So I'm actually going to give you guys a bonus tip. Number 8, find others that are better than you. This has helped me a lot in my career. This is what got me to sell millions of dollars of insurance, is look around you. Find the people that you're hanging around. Take the top 5 people. You're going to fall your income in that average. You're going to fall your skill level in that average. So find 4 to 5 people that are better than you. What I used to do is on my lunches, I would actually sit next to a buddy of mine who actually became a good friend, but we would sit next to each other and listen to each other call, because we were the 2 top people in our department. We were selling like crazy, and I'm like, well, he's selling some more that I'm not in certain areas, and I'm selling more than he isn't, so let's kind of mix. Let's find out what each other is saying so that we can better feedback off of each other. That has helped exponentially. Now you've gotten all the tips that I'm giving today. There's a lot more. Definitely subscribe. I want to give you one last piece, which is what not to do. Don't take this advice and just move on to the next video. You can't soak up all of that information at once and have it work. That's where we say knowledge is power, but without action is useless. So take this information, watch it again if you have to, watch it 4 times if you need to. Make sure that you understand where your steps are and where you need to improve. Hey guys, I hope this was helpful. You're going to expect a lot more of this from me. Every week I'm going to put out a video like this, so hopefully this will help agents understand their customers better, know the systems, know how to sell, be more profitable, but also help other people in the long run. I will see you in the next one.